Plato was a philosopher in ancient Greece, and a student of Socrates. He is considered one of the most important figures in Western philosophy and the development of Western civilization. He founded the Academy in Athens, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world, and his works have been widely studied for over 2,000 years. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. This quote suggests that it is natural for children to be afraid of the dark, but it is more tragic when adults are afraid to face and understand the truth. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. This quote emphasizes the importance of understanding and knowledge in making good decisions, rather than relying solely on numbers or statistics. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. This quote suggests that thinking is a form of internal dialogue or conversation with oneself. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. This quote suggests that it is not bad to repeat something that is good or beneficial. Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods, and of every good to man. This quote suggests that truth is the foundation of all that is good and that it is important to seek truth in order to achieve good. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. This quote suggests that knowledge without a sense of fairness or justice is not true wisdom, but rather a form of deceit. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. This quote suggests that the most important victory is to overcome one's own limitations and weaknesses, and that allowing oneself to be controlled by them is dishonorable. Wealth and poverty, one is the parent of luxury and indolence, and the other of meanness and viciousness, and both of discontent. This quote suggests that both wealth and poverty can lead to negative consequences, such as laziness or cruelty, and that neither brings true satisfaction. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. This quote suggests that people who lack knowledge or intelligence tend to speak the most loudly or excessively. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. This quote suggests that opinion is a middle ground between understanding and not understanding, and that it is not the same as true knowledge. If a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. This quote suggests that a lack of education can hinder a person throughout their entire life. All men are by nature equal, made all of the same earth by one workman. This quote suggests that all human beings are equal by nature, and that they are all created by a single creator. Books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. This quote suggests that books have a powerful and transformative effect on the mind and imagination, and that they can add meaning to life. The measure of a man is what he does with power. This quote suggests that a person's true character is revealed in how they use the power they have. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. This quote suggests that the type of education a person receives will have a significant impact on the direction of their life. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. This quote suggests that wise people speak because they have something valuable to contribute, while fools speak simply to hear themselves talk. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. This quote suggests that children should not be forced to learn, but rather encouraged to explore and discover their own interests and talents. Bodily exercise, when compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. This quote suggests that physical exercise, when forced, does not harm the body, but knowledge that is forced upon us does not stick in our minds. Ideas are the source of all things. This quote suggests that ideas and thoughts are the origin of everything. When two friends, like you and me, are in the mood to chat, we have to go about it in a gentler and more dialectical way. By more dialectical, I mean not only that we give real responses, but that we base our responses solely on what the interlocutor admits that he himself knows. This quote suggests that in a conversation between friends, one should be gentle and not just respond based on their own understanding but also on what the other person knows. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. This quote suggests that knowledge can be harmful if it is used for nefarious purposes, but if the goal is virtuous, it's beneficial. A library of wisdom is more precious than all wealth, and all things that are desirable cannot be compared to it. Whoever therefore claims to be zealous of truth, of happiness, of wisdom or knowledge, must become a lover of books. This quote suggests that a collection of wisdom and knowledge, as found in books, is more valuable than any material wealth and that those who value truth, happiness, wisdom, and knowledge should be passionate readers. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. This quote suggests that people who tell the truth are often met with hostility. And what, Socrates, is the food of the soul? Surely, I said, knowledge is the food of the soul. This quote suggests that knowledge is essential for nourishing the soul. The untrained mind keeps up a running commentary, labeling everything, judging everything. Best to ignore that commentary. Don't argue or resist, just ignore. Deprived of attention and interest, this voice gets quieter and eventually just shuts up. This quote suggests that an untrained mind is prone to constant judgment and labeling, and it is best to ignore it and let it die down. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. This quote suggests that not only are lies and false statements morally wrong, but they also have a corrupting influence on the soul. Writing is the geometry of the soul. This quote suggests that writing is a way of expressing the inner workings of the soul. Necessity is the mother of invention. This quote suggests that people are motivated to find solutions and create new things when they are faced with a need or problem.